and welcome back. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury makeup. Today's video is in honor, I guess, of the Chantecaille sale, which will be starting very soon for those of you who have signed up to Chantecaille's newsletter. If you haven't, make sure you do that right away before the sale starts. I'm not sure whether they will send out links afterwards, but they are going to be sending out a link through the email. So make sure that you do check your email. The sale should be running from the 19th to the 22nd. And then I believe after that, it does open up to everybody, but I believe it's for a smaller percentage. Now, from what I understand, and I have not seen this written down anywhere, so it's not confirmed, but from the 19th to the 22nd, there will be 30% off. And then after that, there will be 25% off for everybody. So today's video has been highly requested, and we're going to do an update of my Chantecaille collection. So everything that I have will include some swatches. I'll also give you my sale recommendations. And don't mind my cluttered background, but I seriously have way too many Chantecaille items to fit in front of me or on the floor next to me. So it kind of spread. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start off with a few makeup brushes, and I think I have one or two more brushes somewhere, but I can't find them. I know I have the foundation and mask brush, but I have that down in my bathroom, and I think I have another eye brush. Let's take a look at the two eye brushes though that I have here, and I have to say this one is definitely a favorite. This is the eye blend brush, and I'm actually thinking of picking up a second one of these on the sale. So you can see that it is fairly wide for a smudger brush, and you've got this little curved dome shape. It's fantastic for the lower lash line, and it's very soft. All of the Chantecaille brushes are vegan, so they are all synthetic, and I think this is a fantastic brush. So I do plan on picking up another one of these. The other eye brush that I have here is the Shade and Sweep eye brush, and this came out last fall with the Luminescent Eye Shade series with the endangered species, and it's just a nice synthetic shader style brush, and I like it, but it's not my favorite shader style brush, so I definitely use it in the fact that it's synthetic. I use this a lot with more of the creamier products like the Mermaid eye colors from Chantecaille, some other like cream eyeshadows, so it's definitely something useful to have in my collection. Next up, we have the Sculpt brush, and I picked this up during the sale during the summer, and honestly, I haven't really gotten around to using it too much. I have used it a little bit, and what I like to use it for is the cream bronzers and contour shades, specifically the Burberry palette with the cream contour shade in there, or bronzer shade that's in there. What I like about this is this brush is angled. It's very soft. Again, being synthetic, it works well with cream products, and it's a good shape and size. So I think this is a great brush. And my last makeup brush is the Chantecaille Buff and Blur brush. And I'm not sure if this brush is in stock right now or not. It has been out of stock quite a bit, and it is a fantastic brush. I highly recommend picking this up. So even if it's out of stock during this sale, pick it up in the future, because if you use mineral powders, fantastic. If you like to buff your powders into your face, it's fantastic. If you have been looking at the Sonia G, this is a smooth buffer, or the face one. They are fairly similar. Here's the face one. Okay, so it's a great synthetic option for the Sonia G buffers, and it's also a much cheaper version of the Westman Atelier blender brush. These are both synthetic. The Westman Atelier one is it's somewhere around twice the price of the Chantecaille one. So I definitely think they perform the same on me. I have not noticed any difference in the way they feel or the way they perform on my skin. And they're essentially the same shape and size for the brush heads. So I definitely think this is a fantastic brush to pick up. Now, recently I had a luxury haul, and I included some Chantecaille products, and I haven't really gotten to use those too much right now, but I do have the majority of those on my face right now, so I can share some first impressions with you. And let's start off with the eyeshadow trio. This is the Protect the Wolves eyeshadow trio that came out a few years ago, and it's on their site. Like, seriously, after it came out, it sold out. I was looking all over for it. I had no idea it was on their site now. So I picked this up during the 40% off bestseller sale. And I don't know if that is still active. Unfortunately, it's one of those sales where you can only use it once per account. So you can check that out and see if it's still working. I do have it posted on my community tab. So check out the sale information and see if it's working for any of those items that are left. But this is the trio. And this is what I have on my eyes right now. And I have to say, these shadows are super pigmented. So I barely used any shadow on my lids today. And you can see how pigmented they are. And I mean, basically I did a little dab and spread it out. So they are strongly pigmented. They are gorgeous, but obviously you're not going to get super light looks with this. We have a black, a gray, and a green. And here they are. So these are all going to be matte shades. They're not a flat matte. There's a little bit of a satin sheen to it, but it's a matte shadow. Now, this year's trio is the Safari eyeshadow trio, and this came out for the fall collection. By the way, both of the trios come with a little brush, and this one here, it's much lighter, and this is gone. This one is sold out, but these are the shades here. I just wanted to show you the difference. You can see how much lighter these are. The pigmentation in the Wolf Trio is so much stronger than the Safari Trio, regardless of the fact that these are lighter shades. These are also just much more subtle on the eyes, regardless, like building it up to these deeper colors. It's a little bit more work, whereas these, you know, they're just incredibly pigmented. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Safari Eye Trio. I think it's a nice palette, but the colors are not really for me, and I don't love the formula, especially compared to some of Chantecaille's other formulas, which are some of my favorite eyeshadow formulas overall. This one, however, the Protect the Wolves, I do really love this one. So I would definitely recommend picking this one up on sale if you're interested in this color story. Now, just a quick look at some other items I have on my face. We have the Les Paillettes highlight, and this highlighter came out around the same time as the Wolf Trio, and it's gorgeous. So here we have just the gold, just the pink, and here's both of them mixed together. And I have this on very lightly on my cheeks right now, but I think this is a gorgeous formula. I really like this highlighter. And again, so we have just the gold, just the pink, and the two of them mixed. Right now I'm wearing them mixed on my cheeks, and I use this Kyoto Premium Fan Brush, which gives you a very light wash of color. So I think this highlighter is incredible. So I really like this one. It's one that I would recommend. Just so you know, the packaging on this one, you've got the gray gunmetal. It does have a click closure, which I like. And look, your mirror is like kind of like deep in there. I kind of like that, how it's a little box lid. So you do have a mirror in the lid, and then, I mean, you can't beat this image on here. I don't want to destroy it. So pretty. Now, another item I picked out from the bestseller sale is the brow gel. So this is a perfecting gel and tint, and I purchased the shade light. I think it was just light, medium, and dark that they had available, and I think on the sale, I think only the light was left when I made my purchase. So it's actually blonde. I was thinking it was more of a light brown. Let me just show you the color here. So there's the color. It's a little bit lighter than what I would prefer for my brows, but it's a fine product. I have only used it today, so I can't say how well it wears, but I think it's okay. I don't see anything particularly special about it either though. So this is the brow gel in light. While we're on products like that, let's discuss the Chantecaille mascara. There are two mascaras that they have on their site. So this is the Faux Seal Longest Lash Mascara. They also have a Faux Seal mascara, which is just a regular black mascara. I haven't tried that one. The difference between the Longest Lash and the regular one is The Longest Lash actually has a lash growth serum in it, so it's going to help lengthen your lashes if you're using it on a regular basis. I've only been using this for just over a week or so now, so I don't know how well the lash growth actually works, but I have heard from other people that it really does work to lengthen your lashes. So we'll see. I'm working on this, but you know, picking this up on sale, if it's something you're interested in, it's a good deal. And again, this was something that was on the bestseller sale, so I picked up another tube of it, and you want to make sure, double check there first, see if that's still active, because that one is 40% off selected items. The mascara only comes in the shade black. I have it on my lashes right now, and it's basically on your lashes, it looks like a basic mascara. Like, I don't notice anything particular about the way my lashes look using this mascara, but if it really does give the long-term growth, I think it's worth looking into. Another thing you can do with this is use this as more of a mascara base and put another mascara on top, because I don't find this to be particularly volumizing. I think it does give a little bit of extra length to my lashes, but I don't notice any volume from here. So if you're looking for a volumizing mascara, you're interested in the lash growth properties of this, I would use it as a base and then put a more volumizing mascara on top of that. And I have tried that out, no issues with the ones that I used. And just to show you what, it's just a basic mascara one. Like, there's no particular shape or anything like that. Another item I picked up is the HD Perfecting Powder, and I have the shade Translucent. This is made in Italy, and this is it. So I have the Perfect Blur Powder, and one of the representatives told me that this is very similar to the Perfect Blur Powder, but lighter. And the Perfect Blur, when I use too much of it, it is a little bit too peachy for me. So I wanted to try this. I haven't tried it yet, so I do not have a review to give you for this, but let's go ahead and just put a little bit of this on my cheeks right now and see if we notice any difference. So I'm going to use the Smooth Buffer from Sonia Jong. So pat that on, and then what do you think? Any difference? There is definitely a difference. By the way, I have super dry skin here right now, so my foundation's not sitting well. Sorry, I told you I have a lot of stuff here. But yeah, so just ignore that. I know the foundation's kind of messed up, but I've been washing my face doing too many makeup tests recently, so it's gotten a little bit too dry. Let's go ahead and take a look at the skincare items that I have from Chantecaille. So I have tested a lot of different Chantecaille skincare samples, but I only have certain things in full sizes. So we're just going to talk about the ones I have in full sizes. This is the Rose de May Cleansing Balm, and I opened this at the beginning of October. This is how much I have used. So this is actually more use than what a normal person would have, because again, as I mentioned, sometimes when I'm doing all of these makeup looks and eye looks and so forth, I wash my face like 3 or 4 times. So this is probably going to be a little bit closer to 2 to 3 months worth of use instead of the 1.5 to 2 months that I've actually used it for. So just so you know, I would expect this for a normal person to last around 6 months. I was hoping it would last a little bit longer, but I think 6 months is probably about right for this product. And what I do is I just take a little bit in my hand. I start on my eyes and just kind of rub it in. I don't have any sort of tearing or anything like that. And then I get my hands wet and I create, not like a true lather, like I'm not getting bubbles, but I do add some water to it and help emulsify the items a little bit. And I've tested it with a separate cleanser afterwards. It really gets everything off. So I love this cleansing balm, and this is something I'm planning on picking up a second of it during the sale, provided it's in stock, because I think this is a great product to have on hand. And I primarily only use it at night or when I'm removing makeup for something. Now, I have a pretty recent Chantecaille skincare video showing like my routine and everything, so I'm not going to go over all of those things in detail, but some of my favorite skincare products from Chantecaille are actually their masks. I think they are fantastic masks. We've got the Hibiscus Smoothing Mask. This is like an AHA mask, so whenever I'm looking for skin brightening, I use this. I've got the Detox Clay Mask here. The thing I like about this is it's a nice clay mask that does not harden, and that's because there's some honey and so forth in there. So it stays kind of soft and smooth on your skin. You don't get any of that cracking and the little flakes that fall everywhere. So I think that's a great mask. My very favorite mask that I have is the Jasmine and Lily Healing Mask. Now, I really would like to try some of the more expensive masks that they have on there, like the Gold Recovery Mask and the Bio, whatever it is, the Bio Repair Mask. I can't remember what it's called, but I haven't tried those yet. So they are on a wish list. I don't know whether I'll pick them up. I don't really need any more masks right now, but I am tempted. Other items, I have the Rose de May Eye Lift. This is a nice eye serum, and I usually use this under the eyes, and I've been bringing it up here into the arch. And one of the things that I saw one of the reps do, I want to say it was Scott Patrick, but he recommends actually holding it here and letting it kind of dry. So there's a ceramic tip applicator, and you would just like kind of hold it there and let it dry, and apparently it's supposed to kind of help your skin stay in place there. Another thing, you can use this as an eye primer, which I've tried, but I don't typically use it that way. One thing to note about that, this is the packaging's a little tricky when to get started. It's one of those ones where you really kind of have to click it a lot, but when it's brand new, you want to go like this a ton, like literally a ton before you get the product really moving. It's because it's a really thick serum in here. I also have the Rose de May face cream, and I think that's a nice lightweight, it's more of a gel moisturizer than a cream. I actually would consider it more of a gel, and it's lightweight. It's a little bit too light for me right now. I mix in some of the Rose de May face oil right now, but I think it's going to be pretty much retired until the months get a little bit warmer right now, the weather, because I think I need to go to something heavier duty right now. And I love the Bio Repair cream for that. And that's something I'm thinking of picking up from the sale. I think that one is a great, more heavy duty face moisturizer. I'm just out of that right now. So this is a face oil, and I actually have a few little sample bottles of this that I keep around as well. And I love this rose oil. I've used several different companies' rose oils, and this one's one of my favorites because it's a little bit more lightweight, and the base is sweet almond oil, which makes it a little bit thinner, and it just stays very hydrating and moisturizing on my skin. So I like to use that. The Pure Rose Water, it's a great spritzer. I personally really like that. This is a glass bottle, but it's supposed to be more of a break-proof glass bottle, and I have to say I've dropped it a ton, and it hasn't broken or chipped or anything. So great things there. Now let's go ahead and move into base products. And we're gonna start off with the Chantecaille Camouflage Stilo Anti-Fatigue Corrector Pen. And I have shade 1 for this, and it does have the brush tip, click bottom, and I have noticed that no matter how I store this, you still need to click it and kind of let it wait for a minute before your product comes up. Now, I personally really love this actual product. This is one of those light, more illuminating under eye correctors. And it doesn't have to be just under the eye, but you can see it does have more of a highlight type finish. What I like about this one is that it's a better color match for me than other brands. So many other brands like the Sisley, Clé de Peau, and so forth, they're all a little bit too yellow, a little too peach. They're darker. This one's definitely lighter, and I really love the actual color on here. This is a great corrector pen, and I would recommend this even though the packaging is not my favorite. I think the product itself is worth the packaging. And if you really wanted to, you could totally like decant it all into like a small little jar. I thought about doing that, but now that I've used it like for many months, it's much easier to get the product out, or maybe I'm just used to it. But I really love this. Before we move on, I do have a sample of the Radiance Elixir, which is so popular. I see so many influencers who have received this product. And one of the things that this is very popular for right now is taking a drop of this and mixing it into the corrector pen, or any other under eye concealer. So this is it, and you can see that the drop, it's like a thicker serum. You can use this more as a radiant base. You can see that it looks white, but there's actually like it's yellowish. It's like a pale gold. So you can use this as a base underneath foundation. You can use this, you know, on top. One of the things that it's recommended for is actually as, you know, skincare. So, you know, after you finish your serums, you pat this on and so forth and use this night and day. So I haven't really tried it yet. Again, this is just a little sample I received with my last purchase. Then we have the Chantecaille. This is the Real Skin Plus Stick, and I have shade 0W. And this, you know, when this came out, I know a lot of people were very angry because they were expecting like a big, thick foundation stick, but this is really meant for spot areas. So you can use this for spot correction. You could use this under the eye as a thicker concealer if you wanted to, but it's really not meant to be an all over foundation stick. It's meant more to put on in certain areas and then blend out with either your fingers or a brush or a sponge. Personally, what I like to do is I will put this on my cheeks, and I actually have it on the reddest parts of my cheeks right now, and I pair it with one of the other foundations. So this is the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation, and today I have on the shade Porcelain. So you can see this is an oil-free, they call it a gel foundation. This is the shade Porcelain. Here's the 0W. And I also have the shade Alabaster, which is a little bit darker. So you can see Alabaster here. It is a deeper shade, and I don't personally like to use Alabaster straight up on its own, but when it is, you know, during the summer months, I like to mix my Porcelain, my Alabaster. And I think it, with the redness, the Alabaster helps cancel out some of that a little bit better than Porcelain does straight up on its own. So what I did today is I added the Porcelain to my face and I buffed it in. Then I took the Real Skin foundation stick on the redder parts and I used the foundation brush and kind of buffed all of that in together. So a little bit of the moisture from the brush that I used, this is the Kojando buff brush. So I used this and there was still, you know, moisture on here from the wet foundation, and it just kind of helped blend the two products together seamlessly. The other base product that I have is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer, and I have the lightest shade, which is Alabaster. And it would be great if they made an even lighter shade. You can see it's right here. But honestly, I use just a little bit of this, and this is a product I use more during the summer. I'll put this on after my skincare. It is SPF 15. And, you know, when I'm not doing a lot of makeup, I like to wear a product like this. So even though I would prefer something a little bit lighter and not quite so yellow, since I don't use a lot of it, you can't really see it too much on my skin anyway. So the color still works for me. Now we talked about the HD Perfecting Powder, and this is the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. And this one is the Hummingbird package. And I mean, this is a very, very popular powder. So here's the Perfect Blur. So you can see that this one is going to be a little bit peachier. Let me put some of this on my hand as well. So I'll put this right here. So if you use too much of this, it is too much for my skin tone, but for a lot of people, this is like a holy grail powder. Now, this powder is out of stock on Chantecaille and at most retailers, at least, for this particular packaging. This was supposed to be a limited edition powder, but it's so popular, they are bringing it back. I'm not sure when, I want to say in the spring, but it's going to have different packaging. So it will be coming back, just so you know. Now, my favorite powder from Chantecaille is actually the Eclat face powder, and this came out with a holiday last year. And you can't beat this holiday collection. So you have this beautiful soft dusty rose base, and then you have this like 3D gold leaf. You can see it's actually like raised in here, and then you have this clear like acetate cover on there. So with this powder, this is more of a creamier gel powder. You've got a full-size mirror in there. This is the powder, and it is nice and creamy. Now, I do think if you use too much of this, you can get a white cast for people with deeper skin tones. It's not an issue for me. It really gives like a soft blur and kind of this like velvety luxe finish to your skin. And It's like a winter staple for me. I really love this powder. Also in the holiday collection was the highlighter. This is the Eclat Brillant, and it's basically same packaging, just gold. And this is the highlight. And this is a gorgeous, super blingy highlight. So I'm gonna put this right here next to the Les Paillettes. So you can see that this one is gonna be brighter. It's more of a deeper gold shade. And it's definitely, it could be more intense. Now, you can use this with a lighter, fluffier brush to get a lighter wash, which is how I usually do it. But if you want something more intense, this is great for that. All right, next up, I want to talk about some eyeshadows from Chantecaille. And I have some of their loose shadows that you can purchase. And they also sell like a palette that you can purchase to create your own, but I just used an Adept palette, and this is whatever. It's from Adept Cosmetics. It's like the Marble 70 pan. And these are the eyeshadow shades that I have, and you can see that the pan sizes are fairly large, and these are all either the Shine or Lasting formula. They do have some others. So this one here is actually iridescent eye shade in the shade Cell. All right, so up here we have Cell, which is iridescent. We have Coriander, which is lasting or satin. And then we have Quartz, which is iridescent. Here are these three. Next we have Lilac Rose, which is iridescent, and Almond, which is Shine. And here are those shades. You can see that these two are going to be very light. These are a little bit more pigmented. Overall though, these are not going to be my favorite eyeshadow formula. So you can see here that Lilac Rose and Almond are both going to be very, very light. Honestly, you're not getting a ton of pigment from these on the lid, even building them up. So they're going to stay very light. These three here can be built up, but in my opinion, this formula is not Chantecaille's best. So they're nice, they're basic, but they're also going to be softer on the eyes than they look here in the swatches. So they're not as soft on the eyes as the Safari Eye Trio, but definitely not as pigmented as what you get in the Wolf Trio either. The formula though, the actual texture of it is very similar. I feel like these are a little bit softer than the ones in the Safari Trio, which feel a little bit harder in the pan to me than these do, but they feel like they're pretty similar. So let's take a look at some of my favorite eyeshadow formulas from Chantecaille, and these are the Chrome Luxe duos. This is the shade Grand Canal, and you can see that this is just going to be a gorgeous duo. They're super sparkly. These are actually pigmented. My swatches here are actually a little bit lighter. You can get it darker than that on the eyes. Gorgeous. Tibet, Piazza San Marco. And I love all three of these duos, and I do have videos featuring each of these if you're interested in seeing them on the eyes. Some of my other favorites are the Hummingbird quads. This is the Cool Quad, so it has the blue packaging, and you can see that it is definitely a quad that I love. In particular, I use this soft pink and the taupe shade next to it quite a bit, and these are these 4 shades. And these are just gorgeous. You have a duochrome shade here. This taupe is like the perfect everyday taupe. This soft pink is a gorgeous soft petal pink, and it's not too cool or not too warm. I just think all of those shades are beautiful. They're small pan sizes. I wish they'd be a little bit bigger. This is the Warm Quad, which I also really love. In particular, I love this slate shade. And you can see that this one is also well loved. This shade right here is a duochrome as well. So here we go. I'm going to put these here. There we go. So look at that slate shade. So you can see you've got kind of like some blue glistening in there, and it's stunning. Most often I like to mix these 2 quads and use my favorite shades from each. Next up, we're talking about the luminescent eye shades. We have Lion, which is a deep golden shade. So this is described as golden copper. Elephant, which is described as a shimmering taupe gray. And this is my favorite personally. Look at that shade. That is stunning. Pangolin, which is described as a dusky lilac. This is Crane, a smoky burgundy, and this is one from the holiday collection. It pairs very nicely with Pangolin. Also from the holiday collection, we have the rose gold zebra shade, and here's that. Cheetah, a warm champagne. Rhino, a sophisticated olive, and honestly they call this olive, but it really looks more like a multi-dimensional gray on my eyes. And then we have Giraffe, which is a burnished brown. So one more time, we have lion, elephant, pangolin, crane, zebra, cheetah, rhino, and giraffe. These are one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas of all time. I love them. If you don't like shimmer, you're not gonna like these. They are gorgeous, they stay put well, and they are fantastic. I usually prefer to use them as a one and done shade, or I pair them with something like Cheetah. Before they released the Endangered Species luminescent eye shades, they did have some limited edition other luminescent eye shades. And this is the shade Mare. This is still available. I actually just recently picked this up. It is a beautiful like seafoam green shade. And I love this. I have another video using this green look. And it's one of my favorite green eyeshadows. Now, aside from powder eyeshadows, I also love the mermaid eye colors. And these are like, they're technically like a cream eyeshadow, but they're really more of this like drier texture. So I have one of the mattes, which is this one. This is the Mermaid Eye Matte in the shade Olivia. And there it is. So you can see that, you know, it's got a creamy texture, but it's kind of like a powdery cream. The other three that I have are more shimmery, and this is this shade Seashell, which I actually have in the center of my eyelid right now. So here is Seashell, and this one's going to be more of a shimmery light gold champagne shade. And last up I have Triton, which is a beautiful silvery taupe, and Hematite, which is more of a plum. And you can see how beautiful those are. So these are definitely some of my favorite eyeshadows, all of these powder ones and these mermaid eye color mattes, or eye colors. I love these. I wear these, I wear them a ton this summer, and yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong with any of these eyeshadows that I just showed you. Again, if I were to choose eyeshadows from Chantecaille, my first choice would either be the luminescent eye shades or the Chrome Luxe Duos, depending which one you're more interested in. They're both going to be shimmering, but you can see here that the Chrome Luxe Duos, you've got one that's going to be like a little bit more of a shiny satin, and then you're going to have something that is a lot more blatant shimmery, so you can tone that down if you want, but it's definitely going to be a very shimmery look on the eyes. It doesn't look glittery though. And then the luminescent eye shades, you can see the shimmer is going to be a little bit larger than in the Chrome Luxe Duo. So it kind of depends what you are looking for. And then my next favorites, I mean, you can't go wrong with the eye quads or the mermaid eye colors. So those will be my choices over the individuals that you can purchase, like the Lasting and Shine shades, or the trios, although I do really like this Wolf Trio. So if you're interested in the singles, I actually prefer the Wolf Trio over the singles. Next up, I want to share with you the eyeliners that I love. And these are the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner. And they are a pencil that you can sharpen, which personally I like. They are going to be soft and creamy. They are one of the few pencils that I can use in my waterline. I don't usually use them in my waterline still, but let's take a look at the shades. And I thought I had all of them, but I can't find Jasper, so maybe I don't have that one anymore. But we have Raven, which you can see is a true black. We have Slate, which is a deep charcoal gray with a hint of blue in there. Then we have Earth, which is a true brown. Olive Brocade is a lovely green with some gold shimmer in it. This is my favorite eyeliner of all eyeliners. And then we have Violet Damask, which is going to be one of the more blue-based purple shades. Again, this is going to be my second favorite eyeliner out of these. And then we have, this one here is Amethyst, and this is more of a red-based purple. And we have Black Forest, which is a lovely deep green, but it's got some teal accents to it. So it's not a true green. There's definitely some blue in there. And then we have the Brightening Eye Kaujal in Nude, which I do use on my lower waterline. So today on my upper lash line, I have the Black Forest, and then I have the Brightening Eye Kaujal on my lower waterline. One of the things I like about these eyeliners is they are smooth and creamy to apply. You have about 60 seconds to blend these out. You can use them as eyeshadow if you are interested in that. And this shade here, the Amethyst, is meant to pair very well with the new shades for the holiday collection, the luminescent eye shades in Crane and Zebra, and then Pangolin also kind of goes with those, even though that one's not new. And the last thing I want to show you about these liners, although Olive Brocade is the only one with shimmer, you can see that gorgeous gold reflect there. These all have a bit of a sheen to them. And so you can see that none of these are going to be a flat, dry matte. They're all going to have a satin sheen finish to them. Oh, and before we move on, I did forget this eyeliner. This is one of the Le Pearl liquid eyeliners, and this is the shade Vert. And I'll just put this here. So this is a green. You can see as the light hits it, you get this bright emerald green, but there is sort of like a black base in this. So if you were to blend this out, you see more of the black. But if you leave it here, let's do another line of that. So just kind of as a solid line, you get more of that bright shimmery emerald green. And I love the shade on this. Now let's move on to cheek products. We're going to start off with the bronzer in Goa, and they are making more bronzers. So if you are looking for an expanded shade range in the bronzers, there will be some maybe next summer. I'm not sure exactly when, but you can see that this one is going to have a reddish base. It looks super scary and dark. I mean, look at this. It looks like cocoa powder, but it actually works. I have this on today, and I have to go in with a light hand, but the actual undertones for this are really great for my skin tone. And the formula on this is one of my favorite formulas. It's a gel powder formula. It's super smooth, creamy, easy to work with. I love this formula. So I definitely recommend this bronzer. Now let's move on to cheek products. We have the Chantecaille Cheek Gelées. This one's my favorite. This is the shade Vibrant. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on my wrist here. You can see that it's going to be a deep, kind of like a scary red shade, right? But you can really blend this out so you get this beautiful like flushed shade here. So this one's Vibrant, and I really like these cheek gelées. You need the tiniest bit. Seriously, you should come in smaller containers, because I've had this for a couple of years now, and I mean, I've used it quite a bit, but I think I've still got like a product to about here. So it's gonna last forever. You really need just the tiniest little dab to get more of a flush cheek look. And this here is the Cheek Gelée in Happy, which is more of a soft peachy pink. And then let's take a look at the Radiance Chic Cheek and Highlight Duos. This is the Coral Duo, and I love the colors in here. I think this blush in particular is a very special shade. I think the formula, as it's gotten a little bit older, has gotten a little bit firmer, and I have tried removing it like you would with hard pan. That's not really the issue with this though. It's just a little bit harder to pick up, but it doesn't have like actual hard pan. But look at this coral shade. I mean, it's like a true coral. It's got the pink and the orange there. It's not too pink, it's not too orange. It's a beautiful mix. And I love the way the formula actually looks on my cheeks. This highlight shade, I mean, you can see it's a nice highlight shade. It's a little bit deep for me. I would buy this for the blush. And here's the Rose Duo. And both of these shades work beautifully, but again, if you had to pick one, I think the Coral is more special than the Rose, but I love them both. Now, as I mentioned, those have gotten a little bit firmer in the pan as I've been using them, but my favorite blushes from Chantecaille are actually the Philanthropy cheek shades. So this is the shade Smitten, and each of these has a different animal on them. I have all 6 of the cheek shades, so we're gonna swatch those, and some of the imprints have worn off. So I'm just gonna show you the swatches. We have Smitten, the elephant, then we have Joy, the wild horse, and then we have Laughter, which is coral. And they don't swatch as well as they go on the cheeks. They are going to be a soft buildable color, and on my cheeks right now I have Joy, this one here in the middle. Next up we have Bliss, the butterfly, Emotion, the bee, and Grace, the sea turtle. And I love these. So I'm not sure which one's my favorite, but during the summer, I really reach the most for Grace and Emotion. So these two here. And then I also really use, well, I use all 6 of them all the time. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but it would probably be Grace or Emotion would be my favorite out of these 6. Okay, so heading on to lip products, one of my favorite things. First off, on my lips, I have the shade Plumeria, which is one of the lip veils from the fall collection. And I have it topped lightly with the Rose Quartz. This is one of the lip crystals. So before we get into those, let's start off with the newest addition to the Chantecaille lip product line, and those are the Le Matte Stilos. And I do have a dedicated video to these. We're gonna do these on my hand here. This is the shade Lobelia, and it's an orangey red, but honestly, it looks more like a watermelon pink base to me. I think it's gorgeous. It's like the orange red that anybody can wear. So here are the rest of the Le Matte Stilos. So again, we have Lobelia, then we have Aster, which is a beautiful tea rose. And then we have Snapdragon, which is a soft peachy pink, and Meadowsweet, which is the nude peachy shade. Now the formula for the Le Matte Stilos I think is a very nice formula. It's not incredibly long wearing, but it's comfortable, easy to wear. There's something easy to carry around with you and touch up and use at any time. So I think they're a very functional product. And then we also have these. These are the lip tint hydrating balms. They're technically limited edition. They came out with the spring collection. They are still available right now. I don't know how, whether they'll change and make these permanent or not, because I think they were pretty popular this summer. So I have all 4 shades of these. So the lip tints come in a twist up, like a skinny lipstick style container. And I really like these. I love this blue packaging. You can hear it's a nice click closure. These are the 4 shades here. So we have Calendula, which is an orangey coral shade. And again, it's more of a true coral than an orange, in my opinion, like the coral blush that came out during the same collection. Then we have Verbena, which is my favorite. It's actually a berry shade. It looks a little pinker on my hands, but on my lips, it's a really beautiful berry. And then we have the red. This is going to be a soft red called Madeira. And then next to it, we have a very soft light pink, which is almost clear on my lips. It's called Beach Rose. I actually still wear these quite a bit. I always keep at least 1 or 2 at my desk. And to say I use the Beach Rose the most, just because whenever I'm doing touch-ups, if I've already got lipstick or something on, it's the most translucent, so it's easy to add on. So I do use it the most for that reason, but my actual favorite is the Verbena. And I have a couple of lip glosses I want to show you on my hand before I get my arm all messed up with lipsticks. So this one here is the shade Classic, and I thought I had 1 more lip gloss. I thought I had 3, but I can only find 2 of them. So here we go. You can see that it's going to be a warm, kind of like a little bit of a nude base, but it's really more of like a warm peachy shade. There's a little bit of a clay look in there as well. And then this one here is Charm. And by the way, these do have like a lip brush here. Charm is going to be a very light peach. And again, this is almost translucent, so I do use this one quite a bit because it's a great topper. Now, I like their formula. It's not very sticky. It's comfortable on the lips. So it's definitely one that I like and I would recommend. I'm actually considering picking up 1 or 2 more shades, but I'm going to stop myself because I really don't need more lip products right now. Now let's take a look at the lip crystals from Chantecaille. They've had these out for a few years. They come out during the holiday season, and this one here is the shade Rose Quartz, and you can see that it's beautiful. It's encrusted with gold, and it's just a beautiful shade. So this is the one I have as a topper on my lips right now, and it's this beautiful like pinky plum shade with gold infused in it. And I've actually worn mine quite a bit. Mine are from last year, and you can see that the gold is actually embedded throughout the bullet. So it's not going to be one of those ones where you only see the gold the first few uses because you're getting the edges. Now the packaging for the lip crystals is this gorgeous gold square packaging, and it does have the magnetic closure. We have Rubelite, which is this beautiful metallic, it's really more of a strong pinky shade here, like a fuchsia. Look at that. It's definitely a statement lip on. When you have it on your lips, the metallic appearance to it is very strong. And then my favorite of the lip crystals is Carnelian, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous soft red, and I just think it is stunning. And this is great as a topper, but it's also great on its own. Putting a deeper, more like berry burgundy lip liner on and then putting this on top is just a beautiful holiday look. It's one of my favorites, and I love to do that around the holidays. One of my favorite lipstick formulas in general are the Chantecaille Lip Cheeks. And traditionally they always come in this little cute round packaging. It's the gunmetal gray. It is a kind of like a snap closure. It gets a little tighter here. You've got some grooves. This one here is the shade Bourbon Rose. And what I like about the lip cheeks is that they have this thick, balmy feel to it. And you can see you've got like a little bit of a sheen there. They're very moisturizing, very comfortable. They are not overly pigmented. Amore. Sorry Rose. Now, when I said they're not overly pigmented, I'm not saying, like, you can definitely get some deeper, more pigmented shades in this line, and you can have nice, bright, deep shades on your lips. However, because of this balmy formula in there, there's always going to be a little bit of a sheer quality to them. During the spring, they came out with these, which are typically the square packaging is a lip veil formula, but they did the lip cheeks from the Hummingbird collection in the square formula. So let's go ahead. I'm going to swatch these. Coral Belle, Passion Flower, and you can see how bright and opaque they actually can be. Honeysuckle, Lupine. I have to say Honeysuckle and Lupine are the two that I wear the most from the Hummingbird collection, and honestly I like all of these, but I probably wear Bourbon Rose and Amore the most from the regular line there. Next up, we have the Lip Veil formula, which is a slightly lighter texture than the Lip Chic. They're also more of that balm lipstick hybrid, but they are a little bit thinner on the lips, and these can actually be a little bit more strongly pigmented than the Lip Chics because, again, you don't have so much of that balm in there, so you're getting more pigment in one swipe. That makes sense. So traditionally, this is the lip veil packaging, and anytime you see the elephant on these packaging, that's indicating that there are a portion of proceeds that goes to charity. And let's go ahead and take a look at these. I apologize, I'm not good at swatching with my left hand, but this is Honey Pot, one of my all-time favorite shades. It's also incredibly similar to Honeysuckle in the Lip Chic formula. Baobab, Tamboti, Moabi. This is another one of my favorites. It's a beautiful soft pink. And then there are a few that are in special color packaging from a previous collection. This one here is Mandevilla. I never say this right. This is the Frangipani. Beautiful shade there. And again, this one's going to be more of a coral shade. And Pink Lotus. This is another favorite of mine. And then from the fall collection, we have more. These came with the Safari trio. So this is the shade Tamarin. And these are going to be a little bit more brown based, but you can see that they all have reddish tones to them, which makes them a little bit more wearable than a regular brown lipstick. This one here is Acacia, which is one of my favorites. You can see how much more red there is in this shade. It's beautiful. And then my most used is Plumeria. This one has catapulted to, you know, one of my most used lipstick shades in general. So these three that I just showed you from the fall collection are currently available in the fall coloring in that packaging, but the shades are permanent and will at some point move over to the traditional blue colored packaging. So these three here are becoming permanent. I do have one more lip product from Chantecaille. This is the limited edition Chantecaille and John Darien collection. This is the shade Rose de May, and it's actually a lip chic. You've got this beautiful, beautiful packaging here, and we're gonna put this one here because I kind of ran out. And this is a favorite. If you're looking for a true medium rose shade, this is it. Just so you know that all of the square packaging like this, any lip chic or lip veil in this square shaped packaging does have a magnetic closure. So these are my Chantecaille lip products. And as you can see, I absolutely love them. Lip cheeks and lip veils are some of my favorite, most comfortable lipsticks to wear. And, you know, I always want to pick up more colors, but I know I have enough. So hopefully this was helpful to see all of these items. And for me personally, for the sale, I'm going to try not to pick up too much, to be honest. So I'm looking at potentially picking up the Radiance Elixir, also the CBD cream. I actually had a sample of that when I had my allergic reaction. That really helped calm it down very quickly. So I ran out of the sample and it kind of started to come back. Thankfully, it's gone now, I think. But because of that and how well it worked, I'm thinking of picking up a jar of that if that's back in stock. And then that's probably gonna be it for me for skincare. And I'm gonna try not to pick up any makeup. I do want to pick up the Jasper eye pencil, which I seem to be missing. But I think other than that, I pretty much have what I need. I'm still considering picking up some of the Bio Repair line from the skincare, but I feel like I don't need it. And with everything that is coming out for spring, coming soon, you know, I really should be good. So I'm going to try my best to be good, but those are things that are on my wish list. One more thing I wanted to note is the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion Foundation is coming out very soon. Now, it's not related to this Future Skin Foundation at all. They share a name, but nothing about the formulas is supposed to be anything alike. So it's just the name they have in common, but nothing else. And from what I understand, the US, we won't be getting the cushion foundation until 2021. It's already out in Asia. And I think Canada is going to be getting it before the US. So if you are in Canada, keep your eyes peeled for that. I think that is coming out soon, possibly before the holidays. So definitely keep an eye out for the cushion foundation. I do plan on picking that up when that becomes available. Now, if you are completely new to Chantecaille, I would definitely recommend just trying one of everything and seeing how you like it. So I would pick up one of the eyeshadows, either a luminescent eyeshadow or a Chrome Luxe Duo. Those would be my choice. And then I would pick up either a lip veil or a lip chic or one of each. And I think the easiest to wear for most people is either honeysuckle in the lip veil or in the lip chic, or honey pot in the lip veil. That's probably the easiest neutral shade if you're looking for that. But you know, they're so wonderful. So I would definitely recommend kind of dipping your toes in with that and potentially picking up a Philanthropy cheek shade. Again, Grace and Emotion are probably my two favorite, but I wear all 6 of them quite a lot. And that eye blend brush, if you're looking to pick up a brush, that would be my #1 pick for brushes because I love that. Or the Buff and Blur, which is also incredible. So those would be, you know, things that I would recommend if you are trying to dip your toes into Chantecaille without spending a ton of money. Obviously, there are so many wonderful products that they have, and it's hard to stop once you start buying them. So if you're looking for, you know, just a few things to test out, I would start off with some of the more inexpensive products. And I almost forgot, I also have the Talc-Free Loose Powder in the shade Light. And this comes with a puff, which I took out, but it's just, I decant it into the lid, swirl my brush in. It's a nice loose powder. I haven't noticed anything special about it, but if you're looking for a basic loose powder, this is a nice product. And I think that's everything. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions about anything, or if you have any, if you would like any specific recommendations. Feel free to ask away either down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'm at AlexisJong on Instagram. I'm always happy to help. As you can see, I love Chantecaille. They've been one of my favorite brands for years. And if, you know, you are looking for something that meets specific criteria, I might be able to help you. So I'm willing to try if you want to ask. And one last disclaimer here, this product is not sponsored, and I purchased all of these items myself. And I think that really speaks to the brand as a whole, because it shows you how much I've actually loved Chantecaille for years. So it's a great brand. And if you haven't tried it yet, I would definitely recommend picking something up to try and see what you think about it. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. And again, don't hesitate if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. So have a great day and happy shopping.